Welcome back, you guys. I'm Tassie with Shaman Memoirs, and this is my podcast series. Thank you to everybody who has been reaching out, wanting to come on as a guest. I am slowly but surely trying to get through everyone's messages. I was actually just telling GJ that I wanted to take a little bit of a break over the summer, and then we pick up filming like around October, going on to the new year. But we'll see, because I know a lot of people are coming in and they're excited to come on too. So thank you, thank you. If you are, a holistic healer of any kind, you do not have to be Hmong, and you're interested in coming on the podcast, feel free to reach out at services@shamanmemoirs.com. So for today, we do have Cena on. So welcome, Cena.
Thank you. Hi.
I'm super excited to have you on. And Cena, you do this professionally as well, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what is it that you do for everybody else who doesn't know you?
Okay. I'm a psychic medium healer. I do past life regressions. I do cord cutting on people, places, and things. I also do clearing as well. I'm also a life coach and a business consultant. And then I'm in a paranormal investigation team.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
A long time ago, when I put my shrine down, I was joining this paranormal group. They're based out, I think, in the St. Louis Park area. Mm-hmm. And I went to one where we were kind of just, it's like step one. Mm-hmm. Step two is where you're taking on more cases and you're going with them and everything. But I remember for step one, there were just so many ghosts around. Mm-hmm. And it was very distracting for me. But yeah, they did a lot of paranormal investigations too. So I really, really want to dive into that. And I feel like I'm going to go everywhere with my tangents. So really quick before we dive into it, Cena was actually mentioned during Janet's podcast. So Janet, she spoke very highly of you. And she also mentioned that you are also like a life mentor for her too.
Yes.
So that is so exciting. And I really want to hear your feedback on like Hmong shamanism, like what's it like for you? But I really, really want to know first your background.
Okay.
How did it start for you, Cena?
Okay, so some people don't realize it, but when you've been through a lot of abuses, you are off the chart as far as gifted. Mm-hmm. But our gifts are our protection, and mm-hmm. people don't realize that. And so mine started way back. I mean, I had a lot of abuse as a child, but then as a child, you shut them down. But you still keep up your clairsentient, which is you feel energy, read people. Trust issues, we use that a lot. And then we have claircognate, which is they say is women's intuition, but it's not. It's actually your own intuition, mm-hmm. but it's a knowing. I knew that, I felt that. So listen to how you talk. And so as a child, but anyways, when I got older, actually it was even before. I was probably in my teens. I started having visions. When they had some singers, it was actually really, really weird. It was they had said like a plane crash would happen. And they said, oh, so-and-so died. I go, no, so-and-so is going to die. And I said, somebody else. So it'd be, I was trying to remember how back, because I'm 60. So it was back, when I was in my teens. So that was the younger artists back then. But they had died on a plane crash. And sure enough, when I wish I could recall what names they were. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
But it was weird when they said it, because I'm like, no, so-and-so is going to die, And sure enough, like within the next 2 weeks, they had died. In a plane crash.
Were you ever afraid of the voices at all?
I didn't hear voices. I was just told things. And that's what's fun. People who say they hear voices never have.
Wow. So when you're told things, like it's mm-hmm. like the knowledge just appears.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just because I've trusted myself so much that I just allow it in, and whatever comes in, I know.
Oh.
And so
gotcha.
I trust it. Yeah. So I don't question it at all or anything like that. In the beginning, yes, I did. Mm-hmm. So I really started doing this, like moving forward now. I found that I thought everybody else was like this. And Jan said the same thing. I thought everybody else was the same way, so you don't realize it's like, no, not everybody's like you. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was different. I was very quiet as a kid. Just kind of watched. I have a younger sister, and she kind of took the limelight. So I was like, yeah, go ahead. I'll just sit back. I'm a watcher. I'm an observer. But I didn't realize that I had all these abilities, and as a child, you shut them down. If you've been through a lot of abuse, you'll shut down your clairvoyant, mm-hmm. pictures, your clair audio, And so, but I didn't realize it. And then I grew up when as a child, my mom and dad divorced. And so my dad's, where he lived, down the block was a medium. And I grew up around that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Did you ever go to that medium at all when you were younger?
Yeah,
Okay.
my mom was friends with her.
Oh.
And so that's why I said I didn't realize as I thought about it, because I don't remember a lot of my childhood because of the trauma, which we block it out as humans. We block, because as humans, as a child, we take things 3 times as hard as an adult because we haven't developed coping skills yet. And so we take things 3 times as hard. So as a child, we literally block it out, or parts of our soul will leave. So it's easier for us to continue on because it's too traumatic otherwise. And so we will do that. We will, parts of our soul will leave so we can continue to moving on. And because we're on a journey, we're here we signed up for the experience, the human experience. And so it helps to continue on. And so, but being around that, I was like, okay, I was around a medium and I thought that was normal. Again, I thought this was normal stuff. I thought everybody's like, hey, I was like, okay, everybody's got ghosts. So I'm like, okay, this is really cool. This is how I grew up. But then I blocked a lot. I didn't realize it until later years that's what I grew up around because I blocked a lot of it out.
Okay.
And so when people started talking about it, and then I had soul retrievals too. I just kind of
so it's always been in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I have met some people who've grown up around shamanism, and they would believe it, but to an extent only. And they still had a lot of self-doubt, or they didn't have the knowledge because none of it was explained to them. So they felt like it was someone else's journey. They were just along for the ride. It was around them. But they didn't know what was going on, Yeah. So I'm very surprised. Did you have a similar experience, or were you like, no, I believe in it. I know it to be true.
No, like I said, I thought everybody else had this, but I didn't have anybody to help me, not at all. I literally came across this and had to figure it out on my own. And then when I was told, actually my mom, she all of a sudden started looking at me a little bit because I used to tell her things. And she's going,
how do you know?
Exactly. She was just like, how do you know that? And then, but again, I was introduced to a lot of it, so never thought nothing about it. But my sister, we were close at one time, but then she had very health problems. So then we were kind of separated. Well, then we didn't treat, we weren't as close. But we still grew up together. Just my sister and I for a while. And then with, being in a divorced family too, that was, so, but I didn't think about even talking to her about what I did because we kind of again, we separated. So I wasn't as close to her. So I didn't really talk to her about what's going on. I just kind of kept to myself. I was kind of the quiet one. She's kind of the Gabby one. So I just kind of sat back and watched and things that happened around me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
And not ever talk to anybody about it.
So then, you just grew up like this.
Yeah.
And then when you became an adult, when did you decide that, hey, this is something I'm going to take serious and I'm going to start helping others?
When I found out I was different. And that was probably, my mom started treating me a little bit different. She asked me about things. It wasn't that she was standoffish. She was just like, okay, come to work with me sometime. And I think I was 18 at the time then because I was driving my own self. And I met her she was working at Ford. And so she goes, she's curious about a guy. It was kind of funny. I was like, okay, here we go. Right. And she goes, what do you pick up on that guy? And I remember how she
was just using you for your gifts.
Yes. And I was just like, okay, cool. I was like, well, pick. And I didn't even go near the door. He just took me over by his car.
Yeah.
And she figured out that I could pick up on things, And so, because she would ask me about him at home. She'd ask me about people and I tell her.
Yeah.
Not thinking of it. But then when I go by this car, I go, and I was going to go like this, and I'm like, oh, don't need to touch it. And I looked at her, and I started just like, oh, I says, he's got insecurity issues. And I says, and he's really gentle. And he says, I just started spouting off, and she just kind of looked at me. She's like, you're dead on. And she's looking at his car, and she's looking at me like, how in the heck did you just do that? And I'm like, because he touches the car. I knew that after a while that I could read energy.
Yeah.
I could pick up whatever object it was. I didn't have to touch it.
Yeah.
I could be around. But it was funny. I think when I started watching shows and there was a medium on there and she was looking at pictures, I found out, I'm like, oh, maybe I can do that. And how it really came about was I was watching Sally Raphael, which is an old show again. How am I aging myself
I was like,
again?
I wish I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's an old show host. Okay, she was really, really good. And she had a psychic medium on there, and it was Rosemary L.T., I think is what her name was. And she was coming out with books. And she started talking about her experiences. And I'm like,
that's your experience.
I did. It's kind of like, that sounds familiar, or what I can do. And so I started reading her books.
Oh.
And so I educated myself by what I saw. And of course, we didn't know at the time, but when we put things out there, they start crossing our paths. And so that's how I started coming into it on my own. I went to the library and I started checking everything out that she had, and then they didn't have it. Like, can you get this book? And so I started reading everything I could.
Yeah.
And
you're
started
doing your own
out.
research.
Yeah.
Because, I guess, where would you go for the answer? So yeah, that was what. Did you find that it was very lonely? Did you feel like you were going crazy?
No, because again, being a loner,
Oh, yeah.
it didn't bother me at all. I was so used to it.
Yeah.
And being different.
Yeah.
I was treated different, but I didn't know why. And it says I was quiet, and I think, oh yeah, she's, myself, she gets the limelight. I don't care, and I just sit back.
Yeah.
And then again, the abuse as well too. It's kind of like, oh, whatever, I'm just back here.
Yeah.
And so it didn't pay attention to, but yet it was going on my own journey, not knowing it, and knowing that there's a completely different thing. And so along the way, I just kept getting, but I didn't have all these gifts at one time.
Yeah. That's something that I'm always trying to tell people too. Even for a shaman, developing your skills and honing it takes time. And then all of a sudden you discover new things, so it's not overnight.
Well, it's really interesting because we're all one. So I mean, you're me. We're different. You're playing out a different part of me. I'm playing out a different part of you, and because we are all one, so people don't realize. So actually, when you're picking up on somebody, it's like just another part of you. You're picking up on it that's living out a different experience.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're so connected. It's like everybody doesn't realize that. But back up, when you're going through experiences and stuff, it's just you already know pretty much, but you're questioning it.
Yes.
And so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, what culture you're from or anything like that. We're all one. And we're all masters. We're all psychic. We're all mediums. It's just if we choose to use them or believe in it. And like you said before, it's like you always question yourself. I did it first because I thought, what did I just see or what did I hear? So as you're going, so as a child, when you shut them down, you don't have them all open. But as you go through abuse again in your adulthood, they're completely open. So I've been through all the abuses, and that's how mine opened up completely because I had been through all of the abuses as in my adulthood.
Wow. Yeah, because it seems like, going in your full 360, your full picture there, right? And now you're coming into, it's about building confidence. That's like something that I'm always telling people. For me, I found that a lot of shamans and a lot of people who are actively practicing holistic healing in any form, they get a lot of their confidence through actual practice. Like you can sit here and tell yourself and convince yourself all you want, but when you actually go out there, that's what I found, that it instantly, people believe in themselves more now, And so I was just wondering, like, did you, like when I first did tarot cards many, many moons ago, I was looking for people to test it on, because I couldn't test it on myself. I'm like, I need somebody I don't know,
Yeah.
So was it like that for you at all? Like where you were like, okay, let me just see what this part is like when you're finding out something new.
I kept getting people crossing my path. I didn't search for it.
They
People
just
found
came.
me.
Okay.
And so it was because I worked full time in the electronics industry. So I'm an electronics technician. And my job present time now, I'm a senior production technician. So I could troubleshoot at component level. And so a completely different opposite. But I kept crossing people's path, or people crossed my path that I come across a spiritual healer, like a master healer. And then she would use me because she found out what I did. Because she would talk to me, and I guess again, it's just in conversation. It's just me sharing, but I never knowing. It's like you've got an ability, and you don't even realize it. And I'm like, really, And so it was questioning, yeah, always, but just thinking that everybody else had it, because I just kind of looked at them like, well, don't you have that? Like, how come you're asking
it's normal.
me?
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's and that's the thing. Like, I feel like sometimes people forget a lot of, like, for me, I notice sometimes I forget things to say things to people because it's so normal. It's so much a part of my day-to-day that I don't think about it. And it's actually my younger sister. She's always hounding me. Like, this is normal to you, Tassie, but a lot of people have no idea what you're talking about, So do you feel like you run into that a lot too?
I did, and then as I started being more and more aware, because it was fun, because people would come to me and, again, they started asking me, and the one, the master, I was thinking is like, oh, now I'm around a master. Now what do I do? Because I'm kind of, again, having low self-esteem and then kind of intimidated. It's like, okay, what do I do? I'm in this part. But then she's asking me questions. She's like, really? And then she'd take me to one of the break rooms, and we were talking, so in one of the office areas. And she was talking to me about it. And she's like, well, what do you pick up on this? I get men things. Always about love life, right? Always about love life. So I'm like, okay, what do you want to know? And I'm like, okay, because again, I'm so used to doing it, it didn't bother me. And so she's like, well, I was told about a guy like this. And I'm like, so I'd look at her and tell her, when you think about it, just tell her. And the problem is that people start to try to think about it. And so, I found that too, because people always ask me, like, how do you do that? I just don't think. You're a channel. So just allow it to come in and don't second guess yourself, because then your human gets in the way. And when your human gets in the way, that's when you're in your head and then you're thinking about it. And it's like, don't think about it.
I love that term. Your human gets in the way.
Yeah. Oh, I have a lot of phrases that people laugh at. Human meat suit, and so they laugh at my terminology. It's like college, but it really is. Men in black. Yeah, that's kind of what we are.
Wow. So, like, what would you say, like, when you are because I got to tell you about this experience once. I remember one time, and this is really seldom that this ever happens to me, especially going out around in public. I remember I was going up the escalator at Mall of America, and I'll always remember this day because then, it's really busy at the Mall of America. It's holiday time. And as I come up and I see the floor, there is this elderly woman, and she's not Hmong. I don't know what she is, but she looks like of European descent. And she looks at me and she's just standing there. And it was like this moment where I felt like it was that moment we needed to collide. And she just smiled at me. Mm-hmm. And I knew she knew that I was gifted, and I knew she was gifted. And we both knew. We knew. Mm-hmm. It was just that moment. Yes. And I was like, that is like the only other time I've ever come across somebody who just point blank, we both just knew. Mm-hmm. And then I remember I turned around to the person behind me to see if they were going to see that person too. And then she was gone. Because I was like, I know I'm not crazy. She was a real person, but she wasn't a ghost.
Right.
It's like those scenes in the movies where they're standing and then a bus goes by and they're gone.
Yes.
It happens in real life, you guys. Uh-huh. Yeah, but I remember around that time, I started really opening up to the mindset that there's other people. And it's not young people. There's other psychics out there. There's other people who have abilities. Mm-hmm. And it was just one of those things that it just kind of hit me where I was like, I'm just out in the open and they're just out in the open and we can just see each other. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. So like, and I wanted to know, did you ever go into like thinking it was like putting it yourself in a box of this is witchcraft, this is, paganism, or is this Christianity, or voodoo? Did you ever consider any of that?
No, but my sister's a minister. Yeah. And what I have found in life is that we have our challenges. If we can take on our family, we can take on anybody.
That's true. And write that down, you guys. Write that down.
Yeah, that's what I found. Believe me, it was a hard lesson. And I finally had to push back because I was, I built up my confidence on my own, doing what I needed to do, be my own self. And, I had 2 children I raised on my own. Mm-hmm. And so it got me to be stronger. Like I had to be if I'm not going to be for myself, be a mama bear for the kids. And so I just kept going, like I have to do this. And it came to, it's like I kept having riff from it. It's like, all right, I have to deal with my family and be able to take them on. Otherwise, I can't take on anybody else. So I know I have to really be able to deal with them. Once I've dealt with them and I'm okay with it, I can do anything. I don't care who comes up to me. I can deal with it. And that's what I just did. I just kept remembering. It's like, no, you've dealt with your family. You can deal with this. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
You're always going to have testing. Always. And that's only because you're questioning yourself. You created that. Anything you focus your energy on, you have created the situation. And people say, I didn't create that. I'm like, what were you thinking? You just did that. I says, anything we focus our energy on is what we create. So nobody else did it. Nobody else put it in your path. You did. So if you're going to question yourself, or if you're having turmoil inside of yourself, you're going to have turmoil, whatever, outside of yourself. Mm-hmm. So as permission. Okay, so when you met the woman up on top, you probably were thinking about something that's like, you're at that point in your life where you're open and wanted to know, but you'll probably also put it out there. It's like, do I have abilities? You probably saw something. It's like, do I have those abilities? I just feel like I do. Boom, somebody's going to cross your path. Because for one thing, it was in your past life. That's past life also. That one was. And it's crossing your path going, yes, you do. I'm your future you. Okay, can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
So, okay, you talked about witchcraft and spells. So everything we verbalize is a frequency, including what we think. And it's what we put out to the universe. It's what we create. It's spells that come out of our mouth. Mm-hmm. If we say old, it ages us. Careful how you talk.
Yeah.
Everything is what you say. Yeah, but it is. We only grow old because we feel we're supposed to, for one, mm-hmm. and for 2, because we speak it. So we are literally casting a spell on ourselves and others. Mm. So we don't try not to use the word old as I'm young. I'm 20 young. I'm 30 young. because it does. Literally, it ages you, but only because you're also believing that you're supposed to age. You gotta look at them and it's like, oh, I'm going to be an old person. No, you don't. Or I think I'm going to be a rich person. It's only you causing so you're not that. You can be in it now. It's just you feel at this time you don't feel you're supposed to. You don't deserve. You're not enough. And then you're creating that environment then. And so it's whatever you believe in, you're creating. It doesn't matter what it is.
It's so amazing, like how you came through that struggle and you had to find it on your own, So definitely, like, now, what made you decide to help a lot of others? Like having your website and being able to help others. What made you decide to finally get into that space?
We go through things for a reason. Again, I hate excuses with a passion. And I was like, no, I have signed up for this so I can help others. And I didn't have anybody to help me. I'm like, I don't want anybody else to have to go through that. So for one, I went through this for a reason. And so the wisest person shares their knowledge. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to help as many as I can. And I'm also not going to use an excuse. I went through these for a reason, and I don't regret anything because I had to go through that so I can help others. And so that's exactly how I took it every time. I'm like, no excuses. Just, we went through this for a reason. And then sure enough, it'll cross your path and you have to help somebody else that went through this or doesn't have the help that they need. Or I call myself now the welcoming committee because as I help people understand what they are now. They come in newbies. It's like, oh, I know what you are. You're coming into this earth and this is what's going on. And so it's like people need that. They don't have a lot of outlets or whatever. So it's like, if people would need knowledge, you got to, be there for them, whoever it is, because I didn't have that at all. And so I had to search as much as I could. And luckily things were crossing my path to help me along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think a lot of people, they always want to know, one of the main questions I always get from a lot of people is, what is their life purpose? A lot of people want to know about their life purpose. And, I just feel like a lot of times innately people, they want to help people, but they don't want to accept the calling, because it's not easy, especially going into this and you're trying to set up your structure, whether it be, mediumship or being a shaman in any aspect. Because I always tell people that shamanism doesn't have to look like what our elders look like and how that looks like, because I feel like it spills out of you whether you practice traditionally or not. And so a lot of among shamans now, they're turning into like doing Reiki and sound healing, other modalities. But the whole point, again, at the end of the day, was to heal. It is to help people, So I feel like a lot of times people who have these abilities, one, they either shut it down. They don't want any part of it because it's scaring them. They don't have anybody to kind of help them ease into it either. Or two, they have nobody to help them and they're searching for answers, So I really love how you really went out there and just went to go grab it yourself. You did your research, you did what you have to do. So I really, really like that. Now, what was your whole take working with others, especially others who are gifted as well? Because what was that like for you?
I really liked it. And it's quite funny. I've mentored quite a bit and I started, probably about 10 years ago, started mentoring, started more, confident, like, okay, I've got wisdom, I need to share it. Where I thought before, I was like, I don't know enough to be able to mentor somebody. I used to question myself then. It's like, what the knowledge that I have, I don't have enough. I shouldn't be a teacher, right? And it's like, no, remember, this is why you're doing this. You didn't have anybody, so help them. It doesn't matter how far along the journey you are, you can help somebody.
Yeah.
And it was just bringing people in, I had somebody that actually lived with me and I helped them. And, but I told her, right off, and she goes, and she actually brought this back to me. She goes, I wanted to thank you. And she brought this back. She goes, you never treated me like I was less. She goes, you always taught me like, and that's what her biggest fear was is, oh, I'm the dominant one. You're going to teach like you're the teacher. And I'm like, no, everybody's at the same level. You're just not there yet because you don't believe in yourself. And I'm like, and that's how I always treat everybody. I said, nobody's better than anybody else. I says, you're just not at the confidence level that I'm at. And you're not believing in your abilities. I says, but I'm you, you're me. I says, and I'm going to tell you, I said, but I'm going to use a specific word. I said, you're an ancient, whether you know it or not. I says, you just got to believe in yourself to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I that's why I'm always telling people, like, you don't put shamans on pedestals. They are still human. Right. Yeah. So like, tell me more about like your other endeavors, especially like with being a medium, like do you have a favorite?
Like, I don't.
What do you mean favorite?
So.
Like do you prefer to just do energy cleansing? Do you
out of all the services she has.
Yeah. Okay. Like, do you have a preference,
No, because it all fits in. I like doing cord cutting clearing, but my preference is psychic.
Okay.
And only because I see past, present, and future, people, places, and things at the same time.
Yeah.
And I also past life, so I can see everything. And so it's really easy to just read something to tell them.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to do a past life regression on somebody. But it's easier to do a cord cutting when I'm in there. If I do a past life regression with them, I can cut everything because people don't realize this, but it's people, places, and things and times that's going to trigger them.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to go into a past life and do it. But I'd rather be, psychic. I love doing my psychic, but I also do mentoring. I love mentoring because it helps so many people.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think here. What is my favorites? I think my favorite feeling is ceremony day because it's a moment of celebration, especially when a shaman is raising, that I get so excited. Even if it's not one of my students, I hear about somebody like, oh, like I'm raising next weekend or in 2 months from now. Like I'm super excited for them. I feel like it's my own raising. I think I love ceremony days. And then I find that I'm always drained with my regular job, my corporate job. And then, as soon as I get to my office and I start working with my clients, I have so much energy, So like for me though, ceremony day has to take the cake. Probably because of the food too.
I was going to say that. It's the food.
yes, definitely. Yeah. But, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, because like during ceremony days, everyone gets together.
Yeah.
And it's that moment where you get to see people again that I hadn't seen for months, because usually I'm booked out months until their actual ceremony day. So just reconnecting and catching up and seeing how they're doing. And I love it when clients, they come back again and then we do a catch up of how their past summer was. And time flies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. But again, time is it's a human thing. It's the ego. It's just something. So there's actually no time at all. You keep thinking there's time.
Yeah.
And but it's funny because when you go through it, you relive yours all over again. The excitement of you going through yours, and then you get to share that with somebody else and watch somebody else go through it.
Yes.
It's really cool. But again, it's like you're watching yourself, your younger version of yourself. And it's like, oh, she's getting there, or he's getting there. And it's so exciting because you get to watch somebody else go on their journey going, oh,
Yeah. To me, I'm just like, oh my God. I remember because like when I had my shrine down and I wasn't practicing for the public, I would do hooplies for people and for my family, my immediate family. And so on the days where I'm going to do their hooply, it's not even like I'm hoopling for myself. I'm going there to call their souls. And as I'm driving, I can just see like all these things flying in the sky, and we're super happy because it's like I'm practicing a little, even if it's not a lot, and it's not even for me. It's just being back in that space, So definitely those are my favorites.
But it reminds you of why you do them.
Yes.
And that's what you have to keep remembering so you don't get lost in your humans. That's what people, the ego, we have to stay away from that. And so it keeps helping you remind you of your why. Yeah. And that's what's really nice. Because when Janet was going through hers, I got to be there. It was so exciting. I was just like, I was so pumped. I was so pumped. I was like, this is so cool. I get to be here and I get to meet her mentor. And I'm just like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like her master, because she always talked about her master.
Yes.
And she didn't share, it was kind of funny. She didn't share something. So how she actually found out that I was her actual mentor. She kept searching, right?
Yeah.
And how she found me in the first place, she gave, she shared that story. But her other two friends, her friend actually asked me to be the mentor, and then I ended up being the mentor for all three of them.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's how that actually happened. Gotcha. And I'm like, well, of course, yeah. I said, come on in. I would love to, And then so I got to learn the culture. They brought me to one of the first healing events, for the Hmong. And of course, I was the only Caucasian walking in there going, hi guys. All I did was like, hi. And all of a sudden, when you could feel it, like, I'm just like, I'm here. Remember, we're all one. I just laugh. And then as we were there, it's funny because they were talking in Hmong, but they were looking at me and they're like, "You understand them?" I go, "Yeah, I do." I said, "I don't have to have that language. I can understand it." But yeah, and so it's funny because I have to help them understand that we're all one. We all can help each other. It doesn't matter. We're all here to help. And I said, and then they always ask me, "It's like, how come you have no problem doing any other cultures?" I said, "Because I make it simple." I said, I understand, as Janet said, all of your traditions, and I'm very, I'm very respectful. Yes, if you feel you have to do that, but I will simplify it for you. And so this is what you do, and this is what you can do, And so it's completely your choice. But this is how you can do either way. Whatever if you feel like you want to do it that way, that's fine. Really cool. I'd like show me because, like I said, it was really cool watching her go through her whole thing. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. And then, but then she remembers. She's like, but I don't understand. Like she said on the show, taught a different way of doing it. And it's like, no, do both ways, whatever feels right for you.
Yes.
Because this has to be for you, not for me. This is for you. So, and you signed up for it to be in your culture to do it that way.
Yeah.
I'm just here to help you on that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's so amazing. That's so interesting, especially knowing like I don't think I've ever met a medium that also does like cord cutting and cleansing of spaces like you do. Especially even being in the paranormal aspect, that's like most mediums that I know of. They do a lot more palm reading. They do tarot cards and answer any questions that you might have, kind of psychic type of modalities. But to do that side, it's just like, I've met other people who like clear graveyards, they clear the energy and everything like that. So they do that as well. So it's just so amazing to me, but I hear about other, like, I don't do you have a cat?
yes.
Okay. I just saw it.
cat?
I do. Yes, I do. It's funny. They told me you're going to ask about my cats. I'm like, yeah. And I'm supposed to be. So my reply is to you. It's supposed to say, of course, all witches do. Yeah, because they told me what you were going to tell. I was like, okay, I'll just tell her. That's what they do.
So it was so funny when Cena came in. I was washing my cap because I went to go and do a ceremony today, and I was washing my cap in the kitchen. And then I heard a lot of noise, like of people walking around up here. And then my spirit guides were like, she's here, she's here, she's here. Like, because your spirit guides had came here first to kind of check out the space.
Yeah.
Then,
I'm very protective, yes.
But it's funny because a lot of shamans don't know that I can hear, like, if I can see your spirit guide, what makes you think I can't hear them?
Right.
How many times I am just living my life and then I'll hear someone's spirit guides come and then I'll see the shaman in the distance and then I'll like just go away. I don't got time for this. I'll be like at work, you guys. I'll be driving. I'll be vacuuming my office. I love to vacuum my office. And literally I will hear like my Kuning will always tell me like it's really loud. It's really loud right now. And then I'll finally look and then there's all these spirit guides there and they're trying to get in and trying to get my attention. But yeah, it was just so funny. And then you opened the door and I heard my family talking to you and I was like, oh, she is here.
Yeah.
But no, literally this cat was just sitting there looking at me and I was like, do you have a cat?
Yep. Yeah, she sits by my side most of the time. Yeah, she's very, very, Aurora.
Oh,
And actually I got it from Janet.
that's such a pretty name.
Thank you.
So wait, you got the name from Janet or you got the cat from Janet?
I got the cat from Janet and then she wanted to read Homer. And so...
Wait. Ow. This cat is real?
Oh, yeah. Real white. Yeah, she's a calico, but
But
she's mostly white.
she follows you?
We always carry each other. So
I'm confused.
people don't
It's
realize...
a real cat.
Yeah. So
I saw a cat, that's all.
we carry our children around with us.
Oscar's
she likes to
clearly
stay-
not my child.
Yeah, she likes to come with me. Yeah. And she's only one. We've only been together since February.
Oh my gosh. That is so sweet. Honestly, like I'm always okay, some people know this about me, but I try to convince shamans to get cats. Okay, like whether it be a dog or a cat, there is a shaman that I know of, and I kept seeing a cat coming to her, and I kept telling her this cat is going to save your life one day, and so she finally got the cat, and I love this baby. I don't think Molly met the cat once. Oh. She came to another ceremony, but anyways, but yeah, like Oscar don't care about me, but he's not really mine. I just kind of kidnapped him, so. He could care less about me. But I was telling GJ that every time if I go into and do a ceremony and I do not cleanse him, he does not care for me. He ignores me. But on the days that I actually cleanse him, suddenly he's cuddly. Suddenly he knows who I am.
Yeah.
It's just the funniest thing. He's such a butt. But anyways, we're getting off subject. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Cats, you saw my cat. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, no, I do tend to see people's pets as well. One time, I think the craziest part was I literally almost, and I already knew that this person's pet had passed away, but it got to the point where he was around all the time. I literally almost leaned over and started petting it, and then I was like, "This is not real. He passed on already." Yeah.
Right.
But he must really love people. But anyways, what were we talking about? Editor, what were we talking about?
My cat who's sitting here.
Oh my gosh. But no, like, but no, I found that so fascinating that all your modalities that you do, even as, like would you say you just call yourself a psychic or medium?
Yeah, when they pass me, I just say I'm a spiritual. Because I do several things.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm a psychic medium. So people want to ask, like I do events. And so I'll do many readings, healings, past life regressions, and cord cutting.
Yes.
And so that's what they ask me. Just like, and I work at my friend's shop. And so when I do that, it's like, they'll just say, oh, I have a healer and intuitive here. Yeah. Because some people they get intimidated by the psychic title. And it's like,
oh, really?
And so they just go, what's an intuitive? And they're okay with that, because it was kind of funny because when at the shop, I'm like, how come people haven't been coming in? And they had been coming in for a while. And then we had somebody new on, and my friend who works there, she actually asked, I actually quit and I came. She asked me to come back. And she's like, yeah, I told the cashier, the person when they come in, just they're intuitive. They're intuitive healers.
Yeah.
And so just whatever's comfortable is usually what you will use around people. Mm-hmm. And so you'll again, you read people and it's like, okay, this is how I have to present myself, or this is how I have to, title it.
Yeah.
It's, as humans, we have to have titles. As spiritualists, we don't. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't matter. It's just whatever they come there for, you're going to give it to them.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, that's so interesting. What shop is this?
It's a Divine Time.
Divine Time. Okay, this is what Janet was talking about.
Yeah, that's where they met me.
And okay, what city? Because Janet cannot tell me what city it was.
Apple Valley.
Oh, Apple Valley. We gotta go check it out. Our older sister lives down that way, so we go down there every now and then. So yeah. Oh wow. So okay, write it down. Yeah, definitely. We'll check it out. Is this like a bookstore or what is it?
It's a holistic store. So so you get your stones, your books. Yeah, pretty much everything. It's you can go to the shop, you get your sage, tarot cards. Yeah, so
love that.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. Apple Valley.
The energy is wonderful there. That's what people keep coming and go like, "Wow, this is great energy." I said, "That's why I work here." I only come to places that have really nice energy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I would say that I've only ever been to one holistic store where the energy was very intense. And it was to the point where it was trying to follow me back to see what I was. I'm like, I bought 2 tarot decks here. But it was like just so super curious. But yeah, like I don't go, I don't know of many here in Minnesota. I don't think I know of any that is a holistic shop. Yeah,
quite a few of them actually.
We need to GPS this more often.
Yeah. There's one in Richfield. There's one Crystal. Yeah, they're all over the place. A White Bear.
Oh, okay.
Anoka. All over.
I got to look for Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's St. Paul, or Minneapolis had the Eye of Horse, but now that transferred names. So it's, yeah.
Isn't that the one right on Lake Street?
Yes.
Okay. I just saw a symbol.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Because we do have other psychics in the uptown area as well. And I love that whenever we go out of town, for some reason, whenever we're out of town, I'm like, let's go check out this psychic. But, I don't know if they're just open all the time or if you have to schedule appointments. We got lucky in Miami because they came down just because there were so many of us that wanted a reading, but they were not actually open. And we had to do appointment only. And we're like, we're right outside your store. And then they drove down to actually meet us. Yeah. So that was really nice of them, especially we don't know where they were in Miami too. So that was very nice of them. But yeah. And it was very interesting because there was 2 sisters in Miami. And the older sister, she told the younger sister not to read me, that she wanted to read me. Okay. Yeah, so it was very interesting because then the younger sister, I don't know if she was newer or something at doing it, but she was like, no, you need to save that one for me to read later. And then I went up there for her to do the reading. But I mean, I don't know. I love to support the arts, but it's just so funny because they're like, yeah, no, you're fine. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
But, like for me, I just love to pick their brains. For me, it's more about, I want to hear about their journey, their stories, like to me, that's always so exciting to kind of get a fresh perspective of their experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody has a different one.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Because I'm like, we all get there, it's fine. But I want to know. Tell me about that time. So yeah, and then I end up flipping the script a lot. But it was just really, really interesting. But she was so funny and sweet because she does this thing where she sneezes. When someone is telling the truth, she sneezes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's their reaction to it, the human body.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how they react to it. Yep.
Wow. And I thought it was so beautiful when I found that out. I was like, because I had asked her about a random subject. And then she sneezed. And then she was like, no, that means that you're telling the truth. Like, that's what happens for her. And I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Because a lot of times that'll happen to, again, a lot of psychics have been through a lot of trauma. And so they'll ask for an indication because they don't believe in themselves.
Oh, gotcha.
And so they think, I need something. You'll say, the spirit guides, please give me some kind of indication that they're telling the truth. Because they have been lied to, so they have a huge trust issue.
Oh,
and so like,
gotcha.
okay, I need something to really tell me that I'm on the right track or they're not lying to me because I've had too much of this in my life. And so they'll ask for something.
Oh, yeah. And so many people always ask me about angel numbers.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers. Going to Menards and then finding the hand soap, $1.11. It was just plastered, and I told Tassie, angel numbers. Oh yeah,
Yes.
That's her exact reaction in the store. She'll just be by herself. Angel number. I'm just like hiding in the aisles. Like, I don't know that woman.
And I'll be running up to him going, what were you just thinking? That's just to verify. That's all it was. I would so, because I was like, because 1111 just, it's more of what your true intentions at that time, and be careful what you focus on because it's going to come true. Literally, that's the angel numbers will literally tell you whatever's in your head right now. Be careful. Literally, yeah, because they all like line up and they're like, because I have friends all the time. Well, what does this mean? What does that mean? So it's all the time.
Yeah,
it's all the time.
So it's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see it?
No, it's just when you in your head you're usually questioning something or you're asking about something and you don't listen. So numbers, you pay attention to numbers. And so they'll cross your path, whether it's an animal, whether it's numbers, they'll find something that you pay attention to because you're overthinking and you're always in your head. And so they'll catch you like that. They'll put a number in front of you and they're like, what? What? And then you're paying attention. So that's how they talk to you then and give you answers because you're always in your head talking and asking questions all day long.
Like a big affirmation that people do is, if you want me to date this person, I need to see the numbers 469.
Right.
And then they will see the numbers 469. So yeah.
But you also create that.
That's true.
See, whatever you focus your energy on is what you create. And so that's the other thing too, because that's what people are like, well, I got I got that. That's what they told me. I'm like, no, you told yourself.
GJ, it means get that rug at Menards.
Yeah, really. She's like, shouldn't I?
The whole time. And I'm just looking at her like, whatever, she'll make her decision. It'll come. She'll get there. But
I ended up not getting it.
I know, but you can go back. It's right down your street.
But did you regret it or did you want it?
No. It's okay. I don't need it right now. I don't need to spend the money. I already spent $13 on our torta.
It's a $40 rug.
Right. See, and you're too worried about lack. See, it's the thing is you focus that's what happens. When you focus on lack, then that's what you're going to keep creating. But that's also what you think that you're supposed to be living in. So you have to be careful. So you think of prosperity. I can afford this, and more money will come behind it, and boom, it's going to happen. Again, it's what you put out there, what you create.
It's so funny because my spirit guides, how they answer me is they purposely send a client in. And then I see all these things about them. And my biggest thing I've always wished that I could do to clients is I wish the image and the knowledge that I have, I could push it into you so you can see what you look like in the future. Like once you've gone through your trials and tribulations, you're going to be amazing. And I wish I could push that into people. So then my spirit guides, what they do, even though I know the information that they tell me, I'm just sitting there like, I got no ears. And then they will purposely send in a client. And then as I'm talking to them, it dawns on me. I'm like, I know y'all did this on purpose. Because I'm trying to convince that person of the exact message they're trying to convince me.
It's a mirroring. Yes.
It is.
It's a lot of mirroring.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always a two-way street. And so I tell people, and that's one reason I always tell people, it's like, I'm you, you're me. I'm your future you, believe it or not. And I says, this is you. So believe in yourself. You can do this. You just have to start believing yourself. But it's also, it's always going to be a mirroring. If you're questioning yourself or things that you need to work on, it's going to be, that person's going to cross your road. Or if you need to hear that. And it's like, ooh, I did need to hear that. But it's a two-way street. You're always learning. Even though you're doing the reading, you're still learning from that. Because you get caught up. You get caught up in life. You get caught up in the human. Okay? And so we forget that we're not human. We're here for the human experience. But we're not human. This is just our cover.
So I'm curious, as you keep as you're talking, I hear you use the term a lot. We are one, and I am your future you. Can you further explain that? What do you mean by that?
Because we all actually have one soul.
Oh.
And so we're living out each different human experience that each one of the parts of you has signed up for.
That reminds me of something like I've heard online about Thai Buddhas or something like that, where the saying goes that you live in this body, and then once you pass, you live in a different person's body. And once you live through all the bodies, then you'll be enlightened or something like that.
It's your choice of where you want to enlighten yourself. You can enlighten yourself on every journey. It's what you choose to awaken in that lifetime and live. You have all these abilities, no matter what body you're in. It's your soul. You're the soul. Mm-hmm. It's the human soul. And so you can choose to use those abilities or not. So if you're going to be enlightened, then you focus on being enlightened. And then you can. Mm-hmm. But it's just the experiences that you're going through to get there. And that's what it is. It's not, you can't go from A to B without living that in between to learn. And you have to learn and live. So, because we also sign up for lessons. And so when we're doing those lessons, that's part of the journey is learning. We can't skip again from A to B. We have to learn in between there to get to each one.
Totally off subject, but this reminds me of, kind of on subject. You're talking about the souls and in the body, right? I was talking to this other shaman earlier today, and she was telling me how her spirit guides are always yelling at her that she needs to lose weight so that she can do the ceremonies because it's exerting of our bodies, right? Mm-hmm. And I looked at her and I was like, my spirit guides have never talked about my weight. And I was like, they must like this. No, because then I do know they did not like it when I was thinner. When I was thinner, but I felt like I was very drained of energy. I just didn't have that kind of same, I honestly also thought I wasn't as pretty when I was thinner. Okay. So for me, I always I always felt like, when I'm more fuller, I look more beautiful versus when I was thinner. I was just telling that to the shaman. I was like, my spirit guides have never mentioned my body or my size. But then for her, she was like, yeah, she always gets yelled at about her size and that she's unhealthy and she needs to work out so that she can perform the ceremonies. And I was like, I just let them do it. If they don't do it, it ain't happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it doesn't matter the size. It's whatever you project and you feel like you're happy with.
Yeah, and what you're saying there, it reminds me, maybe it's a mirroring for her.
Well, because she's not active. Okay, you still have to have being active. You are active. She wasn't. They were just telling her you're sitting too much. It's not that the weight, it's that you need to be more active because you have to have that energy moving. She has stuck energy and it's causing problems.
Oh, that's amazing. I hope she watches this and she hears the answer.
Yeah, but it's also stuck emotion. So if she gets more out of her head, when she's more active, she's not in her head so much. And so then things can happen. But she has to have that movement.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. But also because when you exercise, you usually tend to go outside. You don't always do it inside. We have to have all the elements for our human, here we go again, meat suit. And so we have to have all the elements. Yeah. But your human meat suit, your vessel has to have all the elements to live. And so it's telling you, get outside, ground, because you need to plug in your battery. You need to plug in and have that flow of energy through you.
Yeah.
If you don't, your chi's not moving like it's supposed to. You have to have that chi, and you have to have it movement. And if we don't, that's where we get the dis-ease. The emotions we keep, internalizing. Mm-hmm. But if you get outside, you're having that movement, but you're also not in your head. Your human's not taking over. Your mind's not taking over. And it's not taking, so you're not getting through your lessons or the experience that you want to go through. Mm-hmm. But when you sit, and I'm not saying nothing about her, it's just some people seem to sit, well, that's when they lose themselves. Mm. And so they're trying to get her to be more active so you don't lose yourself and get where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I totally believe in that whole being stationary. And I had one day off because usually I work all the time. I'm a type A personality. I'm always moving. But I literally was like, no, after my first job today, I'm going to see nobody. I am just going to have this moment to myself. The whole time I was sitting there, what am I doing with my life? I'm just wasting my life right now. That was literally me the whole time. Even though, I work all the time, I'm always traveling. That one day that I had, 6 hours of doing nothing? Yeah, I literally felt like my whole life was down the drain. Oh. So I really struggle with having downtime. I remember after I opened up my office and I was running around a lot, I was also learning Korean. I was like, you know what? I get like this 30-minute window every day in my schedule. I'm going to learn Korean. So I filled it up with learning Korean. It was very stressful. It was very stressful. I do it to myself. But, I totally agree about, like a lot of times I always tell clients, when you're kind of stuck and you feel like you can't break that whole depression, the easiest trick is to do something outside of your normal habits. It will reset you really quick. So instead of just running in and grabbing boba, sit there and eat your boba and just watch people. You can sit there alone. Don't have people with you to distract you. Take in that moment and have that moment to yourself. Or go out to the park and sit there. You never normally sit there, but you're just going to sit there. So I usually recommend for people to do something to break outside of their normal schedule, and it will immediately reset them.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing about, because, if people get stuck in their norm, their comfort zone.
Yes.
They need to come out of their comfort zone. So people would take a different way home or something different. Yes, definitely.
Okay, does your spirit guides ever do this to you? They literally will show me the image of the road I'm supposed to be on. Like, this is the road you're supposed to be on, but then sometimes I don't take that road and then I start kind of paranoid myself.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just me.
It's funny. Yeah. Because mine will go, and I know I tell people too, like, I get kicked in the butt. If I don't listen, I get kicked in the butt. Not kidding. Oh yeah. I do something and it's like, you get visions or whatever, and I'll either ignore it or just keep going, and definitely like smack in the face. I'm like, okay. Yep.
I should have listened.
I knew it.
This is our human. This is our human getting in the way.
Yeah. It was, either that or just being a little, rebellious that day.
Yeah.
I was ticked because I do get pissed at my beer guys. On my I do. And it's not their fault, it's my own. But it's like, you did what? This is what I have to live with? Are you kidding me? And I'm not doing this. I'm done. Nope, not doing this.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back around. It's like, okay, it was my fault. Yep.
Yeah, trust me. I'm always like, my favorite line to them is, y'all chose the wrong shaman. Like, this is not within me to do this. And then here I am doing it.
Yeah.
But I would say my biggest trip is when I know I'm supposed to be doing something in that moment, and then I purposely choose a different one. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what's going to happen to me? Is lightning going to strike me?
Was that what was happening earlier when you were like, should I take 280 or 36? And I said, Tassie, don't stop. Listen to the GPS. We're going 36. Do not take 280.
Well, because I saw myself on the road of 280, taking 94 and getting off of the road, right? That's where I saw it in my vision. But I was like, but GPS is telling me to take 35 to 36. The 94 is closed. So I was just like, and then I just went the whole GPS route. I was like, I'm going to play it safe. I'll just take GPS. It's okay. Like, if it's meant to be, it's okay. But that happens a lot when I'm driving. I will see myself on a specific road, but I'm not taking that road. But then sometimes I will just purposely take that road because I know that's the image I saw. So then I feel safer when I'm taking those routes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then sometimes I'm like, that's kind of the long way. I don't really want to do all those stop signs, Mm-hmm. Human in me. This is my human.
Yes, I know. As I said, see, your mind takes over. That's why I said, when I talk to people, because I don't meditate, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
I am not good with meditation. Yeah, I will fall asleep.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Patience level. I just went, no, can't do it.
But you know what's funny? I give a lot of advice on meditation.
I do too. But it's only because, and I explain this to people too. It's like, because some people want to go to a different level. I need to stay here so I can help people.
Yeah.
If I go to a different level, it's too hard for me to help everybody. And I need to be on a level where I know it's, I simplify everybody. Everything that I do, I simplify.
Yeah.
And I want to keep it on this level so people can keep it, it's like, no, I need to talk to you at this level. And people are okay with that. They're just like, oh yeah, I can definitely connect with you. And that's why.
Yeah.
If I'm all of a sudden going to go on a different level, people are like, okay, you're just way out there now. I really can't relate to you. And I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was in another life, and I just don't want to. I can go any high, and I tap out, I go home, but I'm still knowing that I got to come back down to be able to, so people can relate to me, and it's easier for them. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, nope, keep here.
Yeah.
I'm good.
For me, it's definitely like, I know that this is what's going to help them.
Right.
And that's why I give them meditation advice and what they should be doing. Mm-hmm. I have done guided meditation, And it's just really interesting because I know that they will get there one day. They just can't see all the pictures yet, and they can't connect the dots. So a lot of times when I'm talking to other spiritual healers, they will see just a quarter of it instead of the full image. You know, like because I'll be like, okay, like you see all those leaves. What are you supposed to do with those leaves? And they're like, these are beautiful leaves. I'm gonna leave now. And I'm like, no, you need to go back. And what do you do with the leaves? And then I was like, okay, if they show you leaves and then they take you to a pond and you see all these beautiful flowers and trees, what do you think the correlation is? They have no idea. So it's like, okay, then you're supposed to do this and then you're supposed to do that. And then they're like, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
But I remember back then I was that person, you know, when these beautiful women, these Chinese women, they took me to this pond and they kept going in and out and looking at me in and out. I'm like, I don't know what you want. This is a cool pond. I was like, I don't know why I'm here though. So I was there before. They wanted me to go in the pond. And I was like, I'm not going in that pond. I'm going to die if I go in that pond. So yeah, like I totally get that. But Sena, what advice would you have for anybody out there who's struggling, who is probably feeling like they're alone? They don't know if, like, because a lot of times people, they're kind of stuck in, am I a shaman? Am I not a shaman? Like, what if I'm just like, because for a lot of people, for Hmong people, we separate shamanism based off of your abilities. So sometimes they're just considered psychics rather than the sheikh. Right. So the sheikh and like Janet and what you know, that is considered the shamans who shake and they go into the spirit world and they cleanse and heal and do all sorts of stuff with people's lives. And then you have just the psychics who are meant to just see and know everything, but they don't actually do the healing of that aspect. However, I do believe that a lot of the psychic side, they're evolving. I said involving, sorry. They're evolving now where they're going into the Reiki modalities and they're doing more tarot cards and everything. So like what advice would you have for anybody, whether they're Hmong or not, especially knowing everything you've been through?
Believe in yourself. Very first thing, because people don't realize it, but everything comes from love, but it comes internal. People have a habit of going outside of themselves to find happiness, to finding love, or to be a people pleaser. Well, you're never happy. Work on yourself first. Have confidence in yourself, but don't listen to everybody else. Everybody listens to everybody else, and that's what they create around, this is the life I'm supposed to have. No, you're not. You signed up for this. So this is your life, not theirs. And so when you feel like you pulled to a shaman, didn't you do that? Whether your family's trying to talk you out of it or not. No, if that was what you feel, then that's what you're supposed to be doing. Always listen to what you're getting, not what anybody else, because you're not living their life, you're living yours. So don't let their life interfere with yours.
Yeah.
And so please believe in yourself, but love yourself enough to know that this is the journey you're supposed to be on, whether it is a shaman, whether it is, we're all shamans. We are all shamans. We're all psychic. We are born with this. Everybody is a psychic. Everybody's an empath. Everybody's a healer. Everybody is. It's whatever you choose to wake up and use, but believe in yourself. And believing in yourself first is self-love. So please work on that first. We have so many people that are so insecure and know, I can't do that. I'm like, I'm you. Yeah, you can. But they just can't comprehend that. And that's too much in your human. You need to step out of your human. Come back to your spiritual. You're out of balance. Some people, they feel lost. We've had the younger ones that have come in, the younger soul, or we just say the newbies on earth. And so, but what happens is that they come in, they don't realize what they signed up for. And I tell them, it's all this emotion. You're very empathic. And so you're picking up on all the emotion and all the sickness and the hatred and the war. And so you're not used to that. And that's why you want to tap out or you don't want to be here no more. We have a lot of suicides or a lot of people that are passing early. This is why. Because they're like, I can't, this is what I've not signed up for this. I can't deal with this. And so they will. And so you're going to find a lot of that because people are like, I have so many deaths in my family. This is why. They either feel that they can help more on the other side, or they can't take it. They don't have anybody they can talk to understand what's really going on with them, or the kids can't, no matter how much you want to try with them, they're already like set mindset, like, I'm done. I can't be in a world like this. But they forget that we're actually we're splitting. And this is why it's very, very, very important. We are here to literally clean the slate this lifetime. So it's going to be traumatic for a lot of people right now because you're living You're clearing your slate of karma because you've came here to sign, and you signed up for so many lessons in different lifetimes that you were going to create karma, whether it's good or bad, but you're here to clear the slate this lifetime because the new earth and the old earth are splitting. The movies that you see of that earth breaking up and half an earth, yes, it is real. It's not a movie. And so the new earth is, but the souls have to be at a different level where they're in love and light and helping each other to grow. And so it's very important that when they come over here, they have to understand that you are here to help each other. Learn to get the help that you need. Don't be scared to ask for it. Because again, they don't feel like they deserve either. When they've signed up for very traumatic lives, they don't feel they deserve. They're not enough. They're not worthy.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Get out of your head. Your head's controlling you again. But don't listen to, the voices in your head, or let go of your past. Your past is going to hold you back every time. We, at the Akasha Records, when we're signing up, we are all at unconditional love level. Every one of us. And so are the souls up there when they're helping, when you sign up for those soul lessons or, experiences. But this lowered when they come down to earth level to help you with those lessons. And people don't understand it. They're like, oh my gosh, my dad was so bad. My dad, or my mom or my siblings. But what did it teach you? It's a lesson. Every relationship that you're in is a lesson. So what did you learn? And if you didn't learn, it's going to come out in your boss. It's going to come out with a boyfriend, or girlfriend. It doesn't matter. It's going to come out in your partner, or it's going to come out in your job. But you're going to have to face it. But then ask yourself, it's like, okay, what do I have to learn from this? Don't take it like something they're after you. You got bad, dealt a bad, card game, whatever. It's like, no, these are lessons, and it's helping you to work through this. But do it one step at a time. Don't take it all on. It's too hard. The human mind, when you get stuck in your human, can't comprehend a lot of this. So don't get stuck in your human. Remember, you're a highly spiritual being living out a human experience, and that's what you're here for only. But on the other aspect, this is all an illusion. We're all on a holodeck. This is not real. This is the Matrix, literally. And you took the wrong pill. No, I'm kidding. Got too serious. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So it's funny because you're talking about that, and I was just thinking about like vibrations. Vibrations is something Ms. GJ has been really struggling with. So I have to ask Cena, can you please explain vibrations to her?
Yes. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration. Everything. It only looks solid because it's vibrating at a different frequency. You only believe you created this.
You see that face? She's lost.
No, it finally clicked in my head. Now I get it. It's kind of like radios.
Yes, the radio
waves. That's what I'm always
everything
telling
is frequencies.
you.
No, but you were saying something else. Okay, you probably know this because you probably played Resident Evil 2 remake. But then, so there's a little puzzle game where you have to match the frequency and you have to push the dials until it matches the lines. And then once you do, then you solve the puzzle. And it just made me realize that's what you guys are talking about.
Yes.
It just hit my head as soon as Cena looked at me and I saw it. I'm like, I get it now.
Frequencies.
Yeah.
No, so like she's been struggling with understanding, like, what do you mean when shamans talk about being holy so that it can raise their vibrations, right? So she was really struggling with that whole concept. Like, what is vibrations? Like, what are you talking about? Is it energy? But yeah, thank you, Cena. You explained it to her. Yeah, she got it.
Well, there's different levels. So when you're, love vibration is very high frequency, and then you've got happiness, and then you've got the other. So you've got sadness, ego, hatred. That's all lower level frequencies, and it's heavy. But then when you're thinking of love, it's lighter. So that's why you're higher frequencies. So when you've got that love and happiness, that's what we tell people too when they're manifesting, they're working on manifesting something, get in that frequency first, and then focus your energy on what you want. Because a lot of people, though, they're get stuck in their lack, but they'll be in sadness or lack.
And then you're only going to attract things with that similar vibration. So if you're in that headspace,
when you're in that emotional vibration. So if you're in that vibration of sadness or place of lack or not worthy, that's a lower vibration. And so when you're focusing your energy, you want to be out of, I want this in my life though, but you're at a lower vibration when you're focusing your energy. So you keep recreating that. instead of what you really want. And it's not going to come out the way you want it, because you have to start in thinking. First, go back and think. I tell people this a lot. It's like when you want to manifest things the right way and you want the outcome to be what you want, you need to first pay attention to your emotion that you're in first. So think about a really happy time and go back in it. That's the first thing people forget about being happy. So
they remember all the bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have a habit of doing that because of the human. The human itself, we have to try and balance. That's where we've had to find balance, because we come in here with a lot of the lower. And so we have to come in here with the higher as of love and bring that love into it to find balance. So when you think, when you want to focus on manifesting, first think of a really happy time in your life, and then go back and live in it again. Really relive it all over again, and be in it. And breathe. People always have it of holding their breath when they're listening to people, but breathe. Breathing is very, very important. It does help a lot. You'll find that breathing techniques are very important. But breathe. Breathe as you're doing this. So you're breathing in. But think of a really happy time. Close your eyes, because your human gets in the way. I tell people, close your eyes because you're human. When you see, you get distracting. And so close your eyes. Breathe. And now think of go back in a really happy time in your life. Keys to your first car. Got your first house. Holding your baby for the first time, or even a child, or getting your first puppy, a really happy time. But I want you to relive it all over again, and be in that, and stay in that, and relive it. For one, you're not in your head anymore. You're not talking yourself out of it. So you can take on the world. In that emotion, you can take on the world, because you're not talking yourself out of it, because you're happy. And then bring it forward and continue living it in that vibration. But thinking about, you're living about it. You could be on the beach. You could be when you love water, you like water and stuff. So thinking about being on the beach, or having a trip that you had a trip, but being in that happy place. But then focus on what you want now. How do you want your life to be in that emotion? That's now it's going to turn out the way you want it, because you started in the right emotion first. And that's how you do it. It's vibration. Everything is vibration. So it's like tuning into a radio station.
Yeah.
Literally it is.
That's because that's what I was thinking when you were explaining it to me. I'm like, oh, it's like just turning the dial. And then like how I would just relate to it is that if I'm listening to sad songs, then I'm going to be sad because I'm just sitting in it, right? Yes. And then I'm singing along, reinforcing, right? Because I'm saying it out of my mouth, like casting a spell to stay in it. And so when I am down in the dumps, I'm like, oh, what is this pathetic
we were karaokeing with my family the other day, and my older sister, because like GJ listens to these I Am a Vampire songs, okay? So she's karaokeing to it, and it's talking about death and killing and blah, blah, blah. And she's like screaming into the mic, and my older sister turns to me and she was like, please include her in the ceremony coming up. I was like, don't worry, she's already included. Like, she's dying, she's hurting, she's really hurting inside.
Yeah.
But when I am seeing myself in that light and I am in that emotional state, what I do try to tell myself, like, okay, I need to stop being sorry for myself and just crying about it, or just like being pathetic, right? So I'm like, okay, time to turn on music that makes me feel like I am
energized.
Yes.
And so then I listen to the music that you don't like. I'll turn it on. Oh no, like more of my EDM music where I'm like really cool as hell in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, ain't nothing stopping me now.
Yeah. But it has, but pay attention to your emotion at that time, though. Are you in a vengeance motion, or are you in a happy emotion? Pay attention, because those are different. There's a difference on that emotion that you're in when you get in. Sometimes it's more of a...
It is a petty emotion.
Yes. And like all of that. See, that's human. That's your human taking over again. So be careful. But no, forget things that make you happy. I mean, that can get your vibration like do this, but you're in the wrong combative motion. Yeah, you ready to take on anything? Yeah, but it's combative though. Careful. Yeah, you want to be in a loving, higher. Keep going higher. You're getting there. A little bit higher. Yeah.
And then there's one last question that I've been dying to ask you, and I think it's my spirit guides. Have you ever, in your years' experience, because I know that you do like paranormal activities, have you ever come across something that you were really scared of? Like you had a moment of, you were afraid?
I was, and then I always have to put my mama bear costume on. I do, because I have to tell them it's like...
I love how you keep talking about putting on all these different things. My human side, I need to put it back on, zip it up.
Well, here's the other thing, okay, because I learned a lot from movies, believe it or not, which is like... Fringe was a movie, it was a TV series, but also Supernatural. Those things literally exist, but they put a spin on it where it's funny. And so and of course, my favorite character is Dean, of course.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. I knew I had to say that for you. Yes, I knew that was that's actually on my screen on my phone. And so he makes it so funny. He is, and so I always remember when I'm going into a situation like that, it's like, make joke of it, make light of it, because for one, the entities, they live off that fear, and that they want to scare you. And so I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna make you grow. I'm gonna get rid of you. And I said, you forget who you're dealing with here. I says, it's not my ego, it's knowing what I am, and I'm coming in here and I'm gonna protect my people. And so I was in South Dakota at one of them, and I ended up using everything I learned up until that point, and that was like probably 6 or so years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was there with the paranormal team, and I was asked just to come in. I wasn't actually in the paranormal team, but I was asked to go with the paranormal team, and ended up doing so many things that like literally I had to pull a demon out of one of our head investigators because he was doing a no. He was tapping in. I was I was kind of teaching them. And I all of a sudden, when something happened, because another paranormal team with us, and I found out one of them was practicing demonology. So I knew I had to keep an eye on her, so I was already told about that. And when we went in there, sure enough, she instigated one of the, well, we call him sheriff, but he was Seth Bullock of the town in Deadwood. And she literally confronted him, like, I know what you did. And I didn't know it, because they just told me, it's like, oh, they went downstairs into the cellar, and I'm in the basement, and we're all doing the investigation on the basement, right? And we're having fun. And, we're tapping in. And all of a sudden, something happened, and they took off. The other team, they also ran upstairs, like, oh, what's going on with that? And, there's more things in between, but it's going to be too long. But anyway, so what happened, I was asked about them. It's like, well, how come they just went up in the room? What's going on? They haven't been out all night now. And I'm like, okay. So I tapped in. Well, when I tapped in, so did the other investigator at the same time tapped in. Well, he doesn't realize that you have to go, like, on one side, like, you can't tap back. I can tap in, but they can't see who I am. And he didn't know how to do that yet. And so when he tapped in, it literally went into him. And all I did, and I looked over to him, and I'm like, and he goes, oh, like this. I'm like, oh, crap. I looked over, and I'm like, oh, crap, sit down. I slammed him down. I'm pulling this demon, because Seth went into him literally as when I saw, because I said, I see a serpent, and it's in the basement. And he goes, that's what that guy said, too. That was the investigation team. He goes, that's what he saw. And I go, yeah. I says, what the heck happened? What did they do? And so I had to find out exactly what they did, but then I had to take care of that. But I said, when I saw it, that's when he tapped in and went right into him. And I'm like, crap, so I'm seeing this, serpent going to him. So I'm pulling the serpent out, and I work with our angels. And so I'm like, Archangel Michael, I need you, like, right now, help, And I'm trying to, every time I try to pull it out, I'll go back in, and I'm pulling out. All I see is this sword come down, and the head go, boom. And I'm like, thank you. And I'm like cleaning them, clearing them out immediately. Like, thank you, I'm clearing them, and I'm doing healing on them, I'm clearing them. And I looked down and said, don't you ever do that again. And I'm like, don't do this unless you know what you're doing. Yeah. Don't do this. I was like, I've been doing this. I know what I'm doing. And I finally had to explain to him, it's like, do not tap in if you don't know how to stop it on one side, on your side. And it was more horror because they didn't know what they were doing. And on that it was 10 people. And then within that time, I had to continuously either clear or cut things or get things out of people. And
you're like the mage, like the healer.
Yeah.
And everybody else is like the tanks.
Oh, it was just like, what is going on? Well, then, the other head investigator, he's like, I am so sorry that you had to go through all of this. I go, obviously, I know I'm here.
Yeah.
I said, you guys are lucky because you'd have some dead people right now.
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad, but I'm just like, no, this is a lesson for you guys. I said, but it also teaches me. It's like, make sure that you're on your top game and don't be scared. You have to go in there and whatever you see, hey, you just take care of.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it just depends on what I'm going through. Truthfully, if I'm at a low time, I can be affected easier, but then I come out of it quicker. Too. It's like, well, no, we can't be there.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try to get you. When we get things that continue across our path to get us in a lower vibration or kind of get us off our path, what did it say? I call them devil's minions.
Oh.
Yes. And I says, that's, I tell everybody too, it's like, when something pulls you off your path, there's a reason because you're actually on the right path. So don't take it as a distraction. I said, so that's just called the devil's minion. And then just laugh. I was like, that's all you got? bring it. So.
Channel your
Yeah.
inner demon.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of your insight and your wisdom. Honestly, it was just so refreshing hearing from a totally different perspective. Like I definitely know a lot of people are going to be really excited to just hear like what you have to say too. So
Thank you. Yeah.
You guys know how to reach out to Cena if you yourself would like to have a reading, or maybe you also want a life coach. Like you know how to reach out to her. Her information is in the description box below. But thank you so much, Cena, for coming on. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. It was awesome.
Until next time, everybody.